Feels good, doesn't it? Because it didn't feel good about half-time on Saturday, did it? It definitely didn't. Stephen Howson, Full-Time Devils. This is the Full-Time Review, the video where you guys can have your say on the match that happened this weekend. It's not live today. Normally we do this thing live and we have you guys joining in with your comments. I'm going to read some of the comments that I've already picked out from some of the videos already, but I will be checking out the comments today as they're uploaded, so get all your comments in and I'll reply to them pretty much throughout the day today. So the three things that we're going to talk about today is the first one we're going to talk about is the 4-2-2-2 formation. We saw it against Chelsea. I'm thinking we're starting to see it creep in a little bit more. Whether or not it's going out as a 4-4-2, on paper, the average touch, the average actions of the players is making it look like a 4-2-2. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the perception of Manchester United versus the reality of Manchester United, because it doesn't feel great, does it, at the moment? And I think a large part of that is down to the Sevilla game, but the progress is real, and we will get onto that one in a second. And the third one, Sanchez, couple of weeks. Maybe he's had a bit of time to work with the coaches. Maybe Jose's had a better chance to see. Maybe when he joined, he gave him the rope to just play. And he didn't really give him so many instructions. He just wanted to find out what he was about. Now he knows a little bit more about what he's about. Maybe he's starting to give him more specific instructions. Maybe he's telling him to stay out of certain areas on the pitch. Because even Paul Pogba was in each other's pockets a little bit in that first month or so. Pogba didn't look great. He didn't look great. Any coincidence that in the last few weeks that he's looked good and Pogba's looked good at the same time? And as a consequence of that, Manchester United have started to look good? I don't think it's any coincidence whatsoever. I think they're two of the best footballers, just pure footballers, that Manchester United have got on our books. And if Jose can get a tune out of those two players, the rest will follow. And I think that this kind of links into the first point. So let's go back to the first point. Let's talk about the 4-2-2 formation. So we saw it against Chelsea. It was deployed against Chelsea as a counter-attacking formation. Firstly, to put pressure on their centre-backs. And secondly, to deal with Willian and Hazard as they was coming inside with McTominay and Matic. And we did that very well. We allowed them the space in the wide areas. It did mean Ashley Young was a little bit isolated on that left-hand side of ours. And it meant that Chelsea was looking to hit that ball all the time, but we had it covered. And any time that they like to come inside with the ball, which is where they usually are the most dangerous, we had it dealt with and we managed to win that game. It wasn't the best performance, but it was a good performance against the reigning champions. Get the victory. In recent weeks, we've sort of seen... We haven't lined up like that. It looks like we've lined up as 4-2-3-1. It looks like we've lined up as a 4-3-3. It felt like a 4-3-3. And if you look at the average touch and the average actions that's come out of this, it looks like we've got Matic and Herrera pretty much on the same line. The back four is as you'd expect with the back four. Matic and Herrera are on the same line. Pogba and Lingard are on the same line. Lingard's a little bit further up. And then you've got Sanchez and Lukaku. And it looks like a very direct 4-2-2, sorry. And I think in a game like this with City, you give them the wide areas because they're not going to go round the outside and get a cross in, even though they was doing that. You have to have a little bit of give and take. You have to say, we'll be strong in this area and give them that. With City, often what you do is you give them the ball in their half and you say, we'll go into a low block or a medium block and we'll allow the team to come to a certain area. And they'll come into a certain area, there'll be a marker on the side of the pitch or there'll be a halfway between the centre circle and our box is the trigger. The trigger might be when it gets to a certain player, that might be David Silva, and that's when you start to press. That is how football teams set up tactically. They don't say, chase down every single player whenever he gets it, no matter where he is on the pitch. That's schoolboy stuff, isn't it? That's not sensible thinking. That's not going to lead to good football and good results. So I don't know what the trigger to United to press would have been. It looked like Ander Herrera was trying to man-mark David Silva a little bit. Seemed to do a fairly decent job. It looked like at times Matic was doing a man-to-man job on Fernandinho. And we looked all right. Jose Mourinho, we're going to go to in a second, in his press conference said, what did you want me to say? Like, we dominated possession. We did very well not dominated possession, but we was very secure and very strong for 20, 25 minutes, and then we conceded a goal. And when we conceded the goal, we fell to pieces. Then in the second half, he said he didn't need to talk to his midfield at halftime because he was kind of happy with what they did. He just needed them to go out and do more of it. And I think the problem that we saw, aside from that, the problem that we saw with United is the problem that we've sort of seen all season is that defensively, we're a bit frail. We actually played better football against a big team than we have against any other big team that we've played this season. Even when we've won, we have gone with quite direct tactics, quite reactionary tactics, whereas it didn't look like that this time. It looked like Manchester United wanted to get out on the front foot, and we did it with that midfield three. Now, at the start of the season, I said I wanted to see Pogba in a midfield three with Herrera and with Matic. We saw it against Stoke, and it was awful, and then everyone was like, yeah, maybe we don't want to see that no more. But we brought it back for this game, because in everyone's head, and in my mind especially, you drop in Matic for Carrick, that's a physical upgrade, maybe not the passing level upgrade, but it's an upgrade in terms of physicality. Herrera was fantastic last season, Pogba was fantastic last season. That, as a midfield three, should work. Didn't work. Why did it work against City? Why did that work against City and it hadn't worked against Stoke away? How was we able to get control of that game and go and get a win? And I think it was down to the quality that we saw in Pogba and Sanchez. We're going to talk about Sanchez again in a second. And I'm going to come back to the perception and reality stuff after we've had a word from the gaffer. Let's see what Jose had to say.
Jose, what was the message at half-time that sparked that comeback?
The message was, first of all, my disappointment for a game that was under control for 20-25 minutes without any problem to concede the third goal in the season against Manchester City in a corner. And then obviously we lost a little bit of balance and City had the second goal and their best moment. I told my midfield players that they didn't need to improve because they were playing very well, even in the first half, all of them. I think it's very difficult to be a midfield player against Manchester City. And Paul, Under and Matic, they were playing really well. But I need more from Lingard and Alexis. I need them to connect our good football in midfield. And especially I need my defenders to be a little bit more confident because with just a little bit of pressure by City, they were kicking the ball. They were nervous. They were not bringing the ball with quality to my midfielders. So I need an improvement in terms of the confidence of the defenders. Also to bring the line up so we could lose the ball and press a little bit. And then it was about keeping confidence. Sometimes you are losing and the instinct is to change immediately because you don't like anything. I didn't have that feeling. And obviously the first goal is very important. And after that, the game was our game. They had obviously the reaction after the 3-2. It's normal. But I think also mentally the game was our game. So I'm really pleased for the players, and these 3 points are very important because now we need 6 to finish top 4, and we need obviously a few more. But I think now we have a good chance to finish second.
Jose, I think you said on the BBC that obviously you need to finish second this season. You're almost guaranteed top 4 now. But what does this win mean going forward for next season? Is it a big psychological blow to strike after falling 2 goals down?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. It's an important victory. It's a good victory. I think deserved. But I don't see more than that. I was telling before the game, we need points to finish top 4. We need points to finish second, and we got points probably in the most difficult place to get points in a stadium where they won practically every match in the Premier League. So next season we have to improve even more, because this season we improve in relation to last season. More points, more victories, more goals scored, less goals conceded, better results against the top 5 teams. We improve at every level, but was not enough. That's why I congratulate Man City, because they are going to win the title. They deserve to win the title, and I hope they win against Tottenham.
Jose, after everything that's been said about Pogba this week, I know you said you thought he had a good first half, but do you think it affected him in any way? And How impressed were you by his response in the
I
second half?
was impressed, but I don't know because I didn't even speak with him about what Pep told and what Raiola told. I didn't speak. I'm not interested in know if was Pep or Mino right. I'm not interested in that. I know that Paul played well against Swansea. I know that Paul had a very good week of work, especially Tuesday, Wednesday. He had 2 fantastic training sessions, and this game comes in that sequence. Of course, 2 goals for a midfield player, and especially in a big match like this one, stays in the memory of the people, especially for the fans. I think stays, and he needs that confidence because he knows, I know, everybody knows that he had some performances not at the level of expectation we have from Paul, but improving against Swansea. I was happy, and today him, Matic and Herrera, I think they were phenomenal for 90 minutes.
So that's what the gaffer had to say after the victory on Saturday against Manchester City, and a good victory it felt like as well, because I know that I went into it not really expecting much, hoping for the best, as every time I go and watch a game, but not really thinking we would get the best out of it. Now, I thought, as Jose mentioned there in his press conference, he didn't feel like midfield needed to improve too much. And I definitely think that one of the reasons for that, going back to the first point we wanted to talk about with the 4-2-2, is that Pogba and Sanchez are no longer in each other's pocket. Last week, Pogba was further back. He was played in a 4-2-3-1 right alongside Matic, and he held his position perfectly. The reason he scored 2 goals was because he was freed up. And he starts, if you go back and just watch the 5 seconds prior to the goal and see where Paul Pogba is and see where Matic is, and think when he plays in a 2, he's next to Matic. He's not scoring either of those goals. Those goals come because he's playing in a midfield 3. Now, one of the comments that we had from earlier was from Chess Player, and he says, very happy with the win, but all of our goals are individual quality. City simply had a better game than we do. Okay, let's look at the goals then. So City, they scored from a corner. Company bullies Chris Smalling. We scored from a free kick. Smalling goes and sticks it in the back post. It's pretty much the same goal, if you ask me. And then the other 2 goals, they scored one with a lovely bit of skill from Gundogan. But the other goals, the 2 goals that Pogba scores, the first one, Pogba receives a throw-in from Valencia on the right-hand side. He carries it inside. It's laid off to Sanchez, who finds his way in the box. A delayed run from Pogba as it's gone in over the top for a brilliant little knockdown from Herrera, and Paul Pogba gets on the end of it. One touch, brilliant team play. That wasn't one player's individual quality taking on everybody. That was excellent football from Manchester United. That won't get highlighted. You've not seen it, but it was there. The second one, again, Paul Pogba, middle of the pitch. The build-up play is kind of slow. It comes to Paul Pogba. He bangs it out wide. I think it either goes to Sanchez or it goes to someone first and then to Sanchez, and Pogba just starts making a run into the box. Sanchez turns, he gets his head up, he floats a ball into the centre of the box, and Paul Pogba rises like a salmon and gets on the end of it. Where was the individual there? Because that, for me, is team gameplay, and it was excellent from Manchester United. So they'll say it's City's B team, but it wasn't City's B team. City had a couple of players missing that normally start in their starting 11. Yes, Kevin De Bruyne was missing. He's huge, probably one of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League this season. But really, apart from that, everybody else, Danilo starting, but apart from that, that's City's strongest side, really, isn't it? So to say it's City's B team's utterly ridiculous. Now, yes, they probably do have a little bit of an eye on Liverpool this week. I didn't feel it was City's B team, and obviously they brought them all on in the second half to try and win the game, and they didn't win the game. So I'm not having the excuse that it was City's B team. I'm not having anything like that. United was still unfavoured going into the game after everybody had seen the lineup, so I'm not having that anyway. Let's go to some of the rest of the comments that we've got then. Fernando Alonso says, the best thing was when Pogba took down Otamendi and then taunted him. We exploited him today in the second half, and look what happened. I loved that bite from Pogba. I love how Pogba was standing up. When Fernandinho lifted Lingard, Pogba was straight in there for his mate. And we've lacked that bite and we've lacked that character. And I think maybe because we had that bite and that character on Saturday, that was one of the biggest reasons that we managed to overcome that and get back. Coming from 2 goals down against the team that's been called the greatest team ever, and it's not even won the league yet, is an absolute masterstroke from Manchester United. It's an absolute masterstroke. Coming down 2-0 at their place, might I add, and winning 3-2. Nothing's going to be made of it because they're going to win the league within the next few days, so no one really cares, but whatever. Kia Nushi says, people are not giving Sanchez the credit he deserves today. I really think the difference there between Pogba and Sanchez and the space that's now in between those two being played is huge. I think the fact that they're able to occupy different areas on the pitch, and maybe that's been the struggle that Mourinho's been working on in training, because making them play in different parts of the pitch is massive. Tom Bale says, what a game of football, one of the best Manchester derbies in years. The mentality is starting to change and I'm loving it. All Jose wants is for the players to show some fight and character, and they did in the second half. I completely agree, Tom. Good comment. Let's Get Swifty says, the save at the end is why De Gea is the best keeper in the world. Oh. It's not even funny how often that he pulls these out, is it? They're not mediocre saves, they're not average saves, they're genuinely world-class saves. Now, I've got a little stat that I'm going to throw at you, #StatmanSteve, and it's 89 points is what Manchester United can get this season, right? Do you know what 89 points gets you? 89 points is champions 21 of the Premier League seasons. Think about that. It's 21 of the Premier League seasons. We would have been champions with 89 points. Just to put in perspective a little bit of how far this Manchester City team are in advance of everybody, we would also have won every single title in the last 10 years. So talk to me about the progress that Jose Mourinho is making. The progress is there. That Sevilla result, this is the second point we wanted to talk about, was perception versus reality. We could win an FA Cup and have enough points in the bag to be champions for every single season of the last 10 years. And yes, it isn't the prettiest football in the world. It doesn't feel great. We've dropped points we shouldn't have dropped against the likes of Huddersfield and Newcastle. But the reality is that Manchester United are improving. And if we can add a couple of more players or promote a couple of players that can fill in those gaps, because I still don't really feel that the back four this weekend shown us everything that it needs to do for us to be a top flight team, then I think we can do it. But that's enough what you guys are saying there for now. Let's go and see what some of the lads had to say outside the Etihad after the victory this weekend.
You're going to have a good laugh at work on Monday?
I'm going to have the biggest laugh ever here. I'm laughing now. Can't take the smile off me. Can't take it. Look at it. I'm grinning.
Everywhere you go, always take De Gea with you. Always take De Gea.
We had no shape, no way going forward. They could have 4 or 5 goals, and next thing in half time.
I said to Nathan, let's just sing 20 times. They've won the league, let's just sing 20 times. We're the bigger club, let's sing. And I could not believe it. I've got blood all over me, I had a nosebleed.
I'm not going to ask why,
All right, man. I'm glad it's you and not Howson.
When they were singing, we've won the league, you don't get any points until 90-odd minutes, do you? You can't win a league at half-time and all the rest of it.
Typical City that, though, isn't it? Getting giddy before it's...
It certainly is.
Niall Quinn scored 2 to put them 2-0 up at half-time. And we came back and we won with a 3-2. Keno scored the winner. And that was one of the best United games I've ever been to. And I still say that 25 years on. I think in another 25 years I'll be saying this was one of the best United games I ever came to.
This is the best, especially to ruin the party when they was going to win the league today.
Listen, players need experiences like this where character is built. Players need that. This was Manchester United of old. Never say die. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is. Doesn't matter what it is at half-time. It doesn't matter. We did it against Tottenham. We've done it against Chelsea. We brought it back from the brink. And these players need that character building experience. And they did it today. That is going to be massive going into next season.
It's a load of absolute bollocks that they're the best team in the league, because the Invincibles aren't even close to any United team that's come there, and these are a mile off the Invincibles, yeah? They're out the Champions League to the Scousers, who we've just done in 2-1. Yeah, they've won the league, so what? We've won 20. Who cares, mate? They are nowhere near the best team. They're a good team, I'll give them that, but they've got flaws all over the team.
I have to give a shout out to Smalling.
in first goal, I don't know what the hell. Deja vu again.
The same goal, the same celebration, and the same goal.
You're stronger now, and you're still. This man hasn't played for like 2 years, and he's still pushing you over. Oh God! But you know what? Just like Community Shield again.
Oh yeah. Remember the Community Shield
again? He scored. So Smalling, shout out, well done.
And on that note, we're done.
Right here, lad. What I all say is.
That's what some Reds had to say outside the Etihad after the victory this weekend against Manchester City. And we went in there not expecting it, didn't we? We went in there not expecting it. We came out surprised. And that is why we love the game of football. Here's what some Reds had to say in United on YouTube.
Hello lads, match just ended and boy am I buzzing. Oh my gosh. Felt so deflated after that first half. 2-0, it was going, I was just going, this is the worst thing that could have possibly ever happened, and I was like, please, not like this.
The balloons were stuck in the closet. The party manager canceled all celebrations, and it won't happen for another 2 weeks. Next week, if we lose to West Brom, which won't happen in a million years, then they win the league, but they won't. Huh? What a comeback. 2-0 down, 3-2 up by 90 minutes. Pogba 2 goals. Mourinho, tactics spot on. Gets in. Let's go. This feels so freaking good. I'm so freaking happy. Come on, boys.
Manchester is red. I told you guys, we are not gonna lose. We are not gonna be giving anybody no guard of honor, and they are not going to win the league in front of us.
And then second half, boy, what did Mourinho tell them in the dressing room? That was insane. How's that for you Pogba haters, man? What a display from the entire team in the second half. I never want to see that display from the first half ever again from that team. But boy, did they turn around in the second half. Alexis, I think he got 2 assists. He was great. Pogba, obviously my man of the match. And just put the champagne back in the fridge for now.
First half, rubbish. Jose Mourinho went into that locker room at halftime and told them, look, City have won it. It's done. It's over. Now we have 45 minutes to either change that or just sit around and be clowns at their party. That's what they did. They changed it. It was nothing about formation. It was nothing about lineup. It was nothing about how we are matched by them. It was all in our head. It is all in our attitude. It is all in how we carry ourselves through the match. We took the game to them and we beat them at their own backyard. Manchester is red.
Yeah, very, very delighted to just delay their celebrations. And let me just say this one thing. The only blue thing in Manchester is half of Pogba's hair. See you later, guys.
Thanks to everybody that sent in a video for United on YouTube. We want you to send in a video as well, so please send in and find the details in the description below on how you can get involved and get in this video for United on YouTube. And all that's left to say is thanks for watching us, and I absolutely love fan cams and the reactions from Reds after a win like this against Manchester City. So go and check them out. If you've not seen them already, go and check out all the fan cams from this weekend and all the action from the Etihad, and go and join in with some of those happy Reds, because it feels good all again. So, doesn't it? It feels good. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Get your comments in below and I'm going to reply to those for the rest of the day, and I'll see you in a bit. Laters.